So I'll just record this. So the process, what I was thinking here is, as I said here, so this is what we are calling is lift our spirits and listen, inspire, focus, thrive. So the listen part is we are together just quietening our mind first, because listening to ourselves, our thoughts is very important, because what happens generally is we have thousands of thoughts. The whole day we have thousands of thoughts that are coming. And what's happening is those, we are just being guided by those thoughts, we are, it's as if the thoughts are controlling us rather than we controlling the thoughts. So it's very important to understand that these thoughts are coming, and how we can understand is when we listen, when we are in that mode of understanding, that the thoughts are not us. I just see that Ruben has joined as well. Ruben is someone who I know from Toastmasters. Just let us just wait for him to join as well. Hey, Ruben, how are you?
Hey, Somesh.
Hello.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
We have Ignacio from Mexico and Pavel, who is originally from Bulgaria, and he's in Ireland as well. He's not too far from me, actually. Pavel, I am in Athlone.
Oh, 30 kilometers away. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm not too far from you, actually. we should probably meet up when all this lockdown and all goes off. We should meet up personally.
I studied in Athlone.
AIT, is it?
Yes.
Very good. What did you study there in AIT?
I finished as a mechanical engineer.
Very good. Okay. I know Ruben. Ruben is in Peru, Lima.
Yep.
Lima, Peru, isn't it?
Lima, Peru.
Lima.
Yes, the capital of Peru.
Yeah, and I know Ruben from Toastmasters. So yeah, I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about Toastmasters. That's an organization that helps people to develop their communication and leadership skills.
Yep.
So again, the kind of concept is quite similar. People meet frequently, regularly, and we do speeches and impromptu, topics, impromptu speeches and things like that, evaluations and all those things. Mm-hmm. So Ruben is a professor in Lima, English professor. So it's good to have you, Ruben, here.
Yeah.
Pavel, you said you're working in the recycling center, is it, in Tullamore?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And Nacho, you are in Mexico, isn't it?
I am in Cancun, Mexico, yes.
Right, yes. And what do you do in terms of your profession?
My profession is sales. That's what I have been doing the last 20 years. Wow. Working in this area as a salesperson. And I believe that I'm here to learn from everyone.
Absolutely, yes. I think this is the, I really appreciate you, Nacho, for what you said. I think it's very important to understand that we can learn from everyone. There is no one from whom we cannot learn. It's an amazing, and this openness to learn is what helps us, in terms of actually growing. If someone says that I know everything, that means that the growth has stopped. you cannot grow anymore. So it's really important to kind of be in that humble state of mind, I would say, to kind of be open to receiving knowledge from various places, from anyone, basically. I think that's very important. So Ruben, I was basically talking, I had just started it now before you came. So I was talking what this whole thing is about. So it's about listen, inspire, focus, and thrive. So that's what the lifting our spirit is. So the idea about this meetings is that the listen part would involve in a little bit of meditation. So by meditation, what we would do is we would just calm our minds, because I think in the current context, in the contemporary world that we are in today, it is very, I think we are always in a state of constant flux. Like we are listening to this news, that thing, and a lot of negativity is unfortunately coming into our minds. So when we can relax our mind, while being awake, one of the things that happens is when we are asleep, we are in a deep sleep, the mind gets relaxed because the mind is also taking rest. But when we are awake, we never do that. We are always, the mind is always going here and there. So the idea of listening is to quieten the mind. So we just meditate, we just remain quiet, and we just observe. We observe our breath, we observe any sensation that we are having, and just calm our mind, right? So first 15 minutes we do that. The second 15 minutes is inspire. So by inspire, what I mean is anyone can volunteer and speak about a topic that they like. For 15 minutes they can speak, right? And by focus, what I mean is we focus on a particular book, and we read a paragraph, or whatever we can read in 15 minutes. We read from a book. And then thrive, what I mean by thrive is when we are discussing, we come in a discussion mode and we discuss what we have understood from that book. So you all are okay with that, yeah? You're okay with doing that? So for the next 50 minutes, we can do that. And this one is a quick introduction about me, like in terms of what I'm from Kerala, and I've been in Ireland since 2000. I got all this. Basically, this is me, and I'm passionate about leadership and influencing. And one of the things about leadership is that it is actually influencing. Leadership is nothing but influencing. So if we are influencing a person in our life, we are leader. And everyone influences someone in their life. In a family, we influence the people who live with us. We influence our spouse, we influence our parents sometimes, or we influence our siblings. So whenever we are influencing someone, we are leaders. So that's so I'm kind of quite passionate. So leaders are not just people who have a lot of followers with them. Anyone is a leader. Anyone and everyone is a leader, actually. And then I have, so this was my concept in terms of what the lift means as a program. So I have two concepts here. One concept is lift as a regular group session that we're doing now. And my next lift is as a program, where I can do an individual one-to-one session with anyone who wants to do. And this will be a 4-month kind of 4-month, we will be together, and we will do this listen, inspire. So we'll do listen for 1 month, inspire for 1 month, focus for 1 month, and thrive for 1 month, right? So this is a kind of concept that I have, and basically this is the groups that I have here in terms of I guess you guys are already there. So shall we start then? If you're okay, shall we start?
Sure.
Okay, so what I'm thinking now is we just so we are 12 minutes down the line now. So for say just 10 minutes maybe as a beginning, we just try and do a kind of small meditation session for 10 minutes, right? So what we do is we are just, meditation is actually a very, I guess you all probably already know, meditation would mean that we are actually not doing anything. But the great thing about meditation is that by not doing anything, we are actually doing everything. This is the paradox of meditation. And why and how we are doing everything without doing nothing. The concept here is when the mind becomes calm, when the mind is totally peaceful, then we are able to be in a state where we can create things in our mind. And when the things get created in the mind, in the thought process, it's just a matter of time that it becomes a reality. This, say, for example, this phone, right? This phone was phone was a thought process at a certain point of time in someone's mind, right? And then they brought this into a physical appearance. So everything is like that. Whatever we see you look at your surrounding, you see so many things. Everything was in the mind of a person as a thought at a certain point in time. And then it became materialized into a physical thing, right? So this is what we are trying to understand here. So that's why it's quite important that when we are doing this, when we are in the state of meditation, we are actually being in that state of creativity, and when we are creating something in the mind and in the thought, and when we have that burning desire and to make it a reality, it actually becomes a reality. Okay, so for 10 minutes, so 8:15 it is now here. So for 10 minutes, we will just do a kind of meditation activity. How many of you have actually done meditation before? Have you done?
I do.
And what kind of meditation are you doing? Just remaining quiet, is it, or any particular type?
I do breathing and meditation. Yes.
Breathing meditation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the most common meditation to do,
Mhm.
right? So, and what about you, Pavel?
I used to do many types of meditation, but I end up doing a breathing meditation. Like I breathe at my resonance breathing, kind of like
Right.
to synchronize with my heart, 4 breaths per minute, and it affects your physiology in a greater level than if it was only breathing.
Okay. So what we can do now is we can just just if you can maybe close your eyes. Have you all closed your eyes? Yeah. Have you closed your eyes? If you can say yes.
Yes.
Very good. Right. So the mere process of closing the eyes itself is a kind of beginning of a state of meditation, and the reason for that is when we are opening up our senses, like we have the 5 senses. We have the eyes, we have the ears, we have the nose, we have the tongue, and we have the sense of touch, right? So all these 5 are our senses, and the mind is getting activated when these senses are open, right? So we see something, and then a thought comes in when we see that thing, right? So we are increasing the thought process by keeping our senses open. So in the meditation, what we are doing is we are trying to close our senses down, right? So when we close our senses down, we are able to be in a state of calmness. And that is very important, to be in a state of calmness, right? So you all have your eyes closed now, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So now just be aware of your breath, right? So the breath can come in whatever way it has to come, right? So sometimes the breath will be fast, sometimes it will be slow. Sometimes it depends on what state we are in. So it doesn't matter. Just the main purpose here is we just become aware of the breath. And also, one more thing that we can do is we become aware of the sensations. Just become aware of the sensations. So it could be that there is some kind of itching sensation happening somewhere, or whatever is happening. So we just become aware of that. And once we start becoming aware of the breath, what we can do is, when we are breathing in, we can just imagine that we are breathing in the wonderful emotions of love, gratitude, joy. The emotions that are higher emotions. So we are taking in all those higher emotions, and when we are breathing out, we are taking out all the negative emotions like anger, guilt, resentment, all those negative emotions, whatever we are having, we take it out when we are breathing out, and all the positive emotions we are taking in when you're breathing in. And what would happen is, in these times when we are closing our eyes and when we are trying to be aware, we will be becoming aware of the thoughts as well. That there would be some different thoughts that are coming up. So what we do with that is we just notice it. We don't become pulled away by those thoughts. We just notice that the thought is coming, and after a certain point of time, the thought will go away as well, right? So this is what is. So what all this is doing is helping us to understand that everything is passing away. Nothing is permanent. And one more thing that could happen is that if we are not used to doing this, we might actually feel that what is happening. We might feel that, am I wasting my time? The normal kind of tendency that we have is that we have to be running around here and there, doing things, doing this, doing that. Oh, I have to do this. We just stack up a lot of things that we need to do. And then we keep running after one thing after another after another. Just constantly we are in that state of mind. So one of the thoughts that could come in would be that, what am I doing here? Am I wasting my time? So let that thought come in, and it will go away. It won't stay there. No thought would remain with us unless we give it the importance. This is the most important thing to understand. The moment we give importance to a thought, it gets attached to us. And the moment the thought gets attached to us, it can create, this is the power of the thoughts. The power of the thoughts is such that if a negative thought is given the power, it can create depression in us. And if a positive thought is given the power, it can just make us, in a state of blissful state, where a state of real happiness. So therefore, if we actually want to get attached to any particular thought, let it always be a positive thought. That is very important. Also, if there is any noise coming from the environment, we just become aware of the noise. We don't say that noise is causing, is impeding my meditation. We should not think about that. We just let that noise come, and then the noise will go away as well, right? So the most important part of meditation is that to retain the sense of calmness even in chaos. That's where a real person who is a meditator is able to maintain the calmness in whatever situation it may be. They don't need to be in a very calm, peaceful place. They can be in any place and they will still remain very calm. And how do they do that? By understanding that everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. There's one more thing that can be done is in terms of creative visualization, where you can think that we are receiving. There is a guided meditation where people do in a different ways. So one of the guided meditation could be that we are imagining that there is a funnel in the top of our head, and then there is a lavender energy that is coming in, and it is just making us feel very blissful, very energetic, and that is flowing across all the parts of our body from top to bottom, and it is making us extremely energetic, extremely peaceful, extremely blissful. So there are different ways of doing this. The best way is to just be aware. Just close the eyes and be aware of whatever is happening. Okay, so we can slowly open our eyes now. So what are your feelings after doing this? Maybe if we can just, it's just 10 minutes, relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I almost fall asleep.
Sorry?
I almost fall asleep.
You
I
fell
relaxed
asleep.
my mind so well that I almost fall asleep. But I'm awake. I'm awake though. I'm awake.
Yeah, this is something that happens as well so there are different ways. If in the initial state of meditation, one can fall asleep, but in the final states of meditation, one comes into a state of total awareness. It will be. Sorry.
Peace of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like a a state of deep sleep. When we are in deep sleep, what is happening is the whole mind is totally in a state of calmness, total calmness. That is deep sleep. So when the meditation is, someone is a very advanced meditationer or meditator, the state that they will be in is like a state of deep sleep, but fully awake. that's a paradox. So in a fully awake state, their state of mind would be a state of deep sleep. And that's a wonderful state to be in. Why we go and sleep every night? Because the mind needs some relaxation. The body needs relaxation, mind needs relaxation. And when we get deep sleep, that is a time when the mind rejuvenates itself. The mind becomes totally new, refreshed. And in the morning when we wake up, we feel very refreshed. The reason is, in that state of deep sleep, the mind is rejuvenating. Imagine if we can get into that state while being awake. That's perfect meditation. That state where it is only pure awareness, nothing else. No judgment. What happens when we are in a normal state of being is that we are in a state of constant judgment. That I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. We're constantly in that state of pendulum. Swinging between like and dislike, constantly judging. But when we are in the state of pure awareness, we are not judging anything. We are just being aware that this is coming, this is going, this is coming, this is going. And everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. So this is the wonderful state to be in. So I hope you kind of enjoyed that part, the first part. Now we go to the second part, which I say is inspire, right? So inspire is the kind of idea that I have here in terms of someone giving us some kind of talk that is inspirational, right? So someone is giving us some input that would inspire people. So I actually wanted to let me just take a notebook and come. I just wanted to talk to you about something. Just a moment, yeah. Right. So today I wanted to kind of talk about something called, I'll just put it down here. Uh, are you able to see this? Right. So we have got a big circle. Are you able to see this? See what I'm showing here?
Yes.
So we have got a big circle. We have got a small circle, and it's a person basically, and it's all of us. Every human being in this whole world. This is what they are, right? And the big circle is. Okay, so the big circle is mind, right? And the small circle is body. So the mind is the controller of the body. And what do we mean by mind? By mind, we mean the thoughts. So whatever thoughts we get, that controls us. Would you agree with that? If I have a good thought, if I have a positive thought, I will feel very happy. If I have a negative thought, I will feel bad, right? So the emotions, the thought is controlling the emotions, and the emotion is controlling the body, right? So this is I'll just write down here one more thing here now. So we have I'm just writing it down now. So we have, are you able to see the thing here? So the mind has got two categories in it. One is conscious and another is subconscious, right? So we have got a conscious mind and we have got a subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the mind that is becoming aware of whatever we see, right? So the eyes are seeing something and I become conscious of that. The ears are hearing something and I become conscious of that. The tongue tastes something and I become conscious of that. The skin of the touch, the hand touches something and I become conscious of that. The nose smells something, I become conscious of that, right? So the conscious mind is something that is based on these sensory perceptions. So these are the antennas, right? The 5 antennas. Okay, we have 5 antennas: the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. So the conscious mind is dependent on the things coming in from these 5 antennas, right? And the subconscious mind, whatever the conscious mind is getting it gets imprinted in the subconscious mind. That's why the people say, that we have to always focus on, keep our mind focused on positive things, read, be grateful, for what we have. What is happening when we are being grateful for what we have? We are embedding our subconscious mind with the thoughts of gratefulness, gratitude. So the thought of gratitude goes into the subconscious mind. And when we are grateful, we are in a positive vibration. One of the things that all the personal growth people say is, we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. It's an amazing statement. If we think about it, we don't attract what we want. Because when we are saying, I want, I am in a state of lack. And when we are in a state of lack, we cannot attract anything. We cannot attract anything positive. So what is the way to come out of it? We have to actually be in that state where we have already achieved it. That is done when we can keep our, when we can visualize, when we are closing our eyes and we are visualizing that I have already attained that. And what will I do after I attain whatever I want? What state of being will be my mind in when I attain what I want? If we can keep that state of mind in us, we will get what we want. It's like a catch-22 situation. Have you heard about catch-22 situation? Or yeah, the catch-22 situation means that if I want to get an employment, I should have an experience. But I cannot get experience without having employment.
Okay.
This is called the catch-22 situation, that you are waiting for the chicken and egg situation, as they say.
It's something like the attraction law.
Yes, exactly. So the law of attraction, before the law of attraction can work, there is a law called law of vibration. And the law of vibration is that I attract things on the frequency of what I vibrate. I can explain this. So if I am in a state of lack, if I constantly think that I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have, if I constantly think of what I don't have, what I am going to attract, the things that I'll attract is
Negative things.
What I don't want.
Mhm.
There is a nice example that they talk about. If you ask someone to, don't think about a green elephant, what will the person do? What will the person do?
In Peru, we say flying pigs. Flying pigs.
When we say don't think about that, we start thinking about that.
Mhm.
So if I say don't think about green elephant, sorry, Ignacio, please unmute yourself.
Sorry, we do the opposite way of what we've been told to do. Don't do this, and that would do. True.
So this is this is a very kind of dangerous situation that we are in. So that's why it's always important to think about what we want rather than what we don't want. Because the moment we start thinking about what we don't want, we are indirectly thinking about that and we are attracting those things. One of the classic example that they give is, have you noticed, say, suppose you are thinking of buying a particular type of car, right? You are attracted to a particular type of car and you want to buy that. And then when you start going in the road, suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere. Have you noticed that? Car is just an example. Have you noticed that whenever we are in a state of thinking about something, we start seeing it at many places. Why is that? Because we have put a filter in our mind. The mind functions according to a filter that we put. And we all are seeing this world through the filter of our mind. The way we have been brought up in a particular culture. We have been brought up by particular parents. We have been brought up in a particular environment. So all that has an effect on how we see the world. So so coming back to this point about it is very important to sow in the seeds in the subconscious mind of what we want. Yeah, what I want. So in the subconscious mind, I keep sowing the seeds of what I want. And when we keep doing that for constantly, when we keep putting that impression constantly, what will happen is the subconscious mind is a real miracle. It's a miraculous instrument that we have. And unfortunately, people are not using it properly. What is happening is that if we are not, trying to put things positively in our subconscious mind, whatever things comes in, it just goes in. If you're not focusing some particular, so that's why they talk about, keeping a kind of goal. What is the goal what is the purpose of my life, and keep that impression in the subconscious mind. And when we keep doing that constantly, the subconscious mind will get saturated with that thought. And once it gets saturated with that thought, the subconscious mind has got a link with the universal mind. The universal mind has got this capability to give things, whatever we want. All these great scientists like Einstein and, who is this, Edison, all these people, they have developed their aptitude of using their subconscious mind. And that's the reason they are so highly creative. The creativity is multiplies exponential times when people can use their subconscious mind in the way that they want to use it. Otherwise, what would happen is, uh, everything comes in. So everything comes in from this highway. These are called the highways, the senses. Things start coming from the senses, and then we just get influenced by the senses. But instead of the external influencing us, what we do is go like this, let the subconscious put positive things in the subconscious, and then the subconscious will create what we want. We put ourselves in that vibration of what we are. We put us in the vibration of that we have already achieved what we want, and then things just start happening. Right. So this is what I wanted to kind of discuss today. This is called the stick person, and it's a very amazing concept, and it is a reality. Each and every one of us is this. You wanted to ask something, is it, Pavel?
Yeah, I want to say something that I see as a kind of like a fallacy in a sense that you mentioned. Not thinking about the things that we don't want. I think this is you're wrong to say, for the reasons being is that when you know what you don't want, you can distance yourself away from it. But if you know what you want and ignore the things that you don't want, you can be surrounded by them and they can still affect you. But when you know that you don't want a particular thing, you can distance yourself from it. So knowing what you don't want also plays a crucial role, in my opinion.
You're right. Knowing what we don't want plays a crucial role. Along with that, the most important thing is to understand that not to focus our thoughts on what we don't want. Being aware of what we don't want is good. The concept here is, whatever we put the focus on, the thought, we are kind of thinking about it. Like the example that I gave, don't think about a green elephant. If I tell you don't think about a green elephant, what will you do? The mind will give a picture of a green elephant immediately, isn't it? So that way, it's not that not being aware of what you don't want. Absolutely, it is important that we should be aware of what we don't want, but at the same time, to become focused about what we want. The example they give is about a child. The mind is actually like a small child. So what happens? The child does mischievous activities, isn't it? When they're 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they do a lot of mischievous activities. What is the best way to control the child? Engage them in some positive activity. When you engage them in some positive activity, immediately they will stop doing the negative activity. So the same concept exactly applies to our thoughts, to our mind. So instead of focusing on what we don't want, we focus on what we want, but we are aware of what we don't want. So does that clarify? Yeah, Pavel?
Nicely put. Yes, you
Yes.
put it very nice.
So it's mainly the concept of focus. Focus is the main point there. What we are focused on. So we have to be focused on what we want, and we should be aware of what we don't want. Absolutely, as you said. But the focus should always be on what we want. Right. So okay. So this was the inspire part. So we just discussed about this. The focus part is the third part that I wanted to go to, and the focus was about reading. Reading from. I'll just share another. I'll just share another screen now, and we go to the reading part. This is something that I found really a wonderful book, As a Man Thinketh. This is from James Allen. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes.
You see the screen, right? Yes. So this is again based on the same thing that we've discussed. So now we come to this part. So maybe what we could do is we could all read, one paragraph. 4 of us could read one paragraph, and then we can just discuss on this, right? So maybe anyone wants to volunteer? You just read one paragraph.
It's too small, the letters. I cannot see.
Are you watching? Are you seeing in this one? Is it in the
okay? Now
mobile?
I see. Yes. Okay. Thought and character. The aphorism, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of a monk's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. Do you want me to go on?
Yeah, maybe one more para. Yeah, we can read 2 paras each. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every set of men springs from the hidden seeds of thought and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpredicted as to those which are deliberately executed. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Right. So maybe we can just have a quick discussion on this 2 paragraph. So there is so much wonderful value in these 2 paragraphs. He's talking about spontaneous and unpremeditated. Even this applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated as to those which are deliberately executed. Right. So as the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, just like for the plant, a seed is needed. Similarly, for any act that we do, thought is the impetus. Thought is the cause of whatever act we do. Isn't it amazing? And that's the truth. We can check. For example, 4 of us are here, right? What is the reason 4 of us are here? There was a thought in our mind that this activity of being together and engaging in, inspiring and motivating each other is going to be good. And that thought was so strong that we put aside a particular time for this particular activity. So the strength of the thought is really very, very powerful thing here. Because, the focus, as I said, the focus is very important. So when we had this thought about inspiring and motivating each other, we had that thought in a very strong way. And because that thought was so strong, we actually, dedicated this set of time for doing this. So it's quite an amazing kind of concept. Would anyone else like to continue? Just reading this, the next part. Do you want to, Pavel or Ignacio, do you want to read? Or
yes, sure, I can read it. Act is the blossom of thoughts, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Does this a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry? Thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought we wrote and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes the wheel, the ox behind. If one endure in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow sure. Man is a growth by law and not creation by artifice. and cause and effect is absolute and I don't know this word. Undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but it's a natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts, an ignoble and bestial character by the same process is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts.
Right. Again, he's emphasizing that this is amazing. Like, for example, a person could be a millionaire, right? Or a billionaire for that matter. And they could have enormous amount of fans, fan following and everything. But if in their mind, they are having thoughts of depression, in spite of being the most successful person, they will feel depressed. And we actually have some examples, isn't it? I don't remember the name of that Hollywood actor, but he was so famous and he had so much money, but that person committed suicide. Right. So what is happening there? So it is very clear that the external money and external whatever we have, fame, whatever we have, cannot bring real happiness unless the mind is satisfied, the mind is calm. The mind finds happiness in association with other people. The real happiness comes when we interact with other people. It doesn't come in things. We could have a huge bungalow of millions of dollars, but if there are no people to stay with, how long is a person going to be satisfied there? So the happiness is actually in interaction. When we are with people, when we have a sense of belongingness. This is what Maslow says in his hierarchy of needs as well. He talks about sense of belongingness. That is a very important need for each and every one of us. That we are belonging to a particular family, we are belonging to a particular community, we are belonging to a particular society, we are belonging to a particular nation. All this, it creates a sense of togetherness, and that's where the happiness lies. And this is a very important part, I think, here. Where this guy is using some kind of old kind of English, but it really is very good. Like hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as the wheel, the ox behind. So it's very logical. What he's saying. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is a natural result of continued effort in right thinking. The effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. When we so this is what the long cherished association is the most important thing here. If a person is having a long cherished association with depressive thoughts, unfortunately, that person is going into depression. Even if they have millions of dollars and a lot of fan following and everything else, if in their mind they're having thoughts of depression, then what they're going to experience is depression. Just the opposite, someone could be very poor, right? They might not have much money. They probably don't even sometimes know that where their next meal is going to come from. But when their mind is very happy, whatever, they're with people, they're interacting with people, they have a lot of connection, closely with people, and a lot of interactions are ongoing. then that person, even though they are poor, but in the mind, they are very joyful. They're very blissful in the thoughts. And when that is the state, then, that's a real state to be in. So yeah, it's quite an interesting one. So do you want to read Ignacio? You can probably unmute.
Sorry, yeah, I was on mute. Sorry. Let's try. Let's see.
Yes, please do. Yeah.
Okay, a man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forgets the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and the wrong application of thought, he descends below to the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grants of character, and man is their make and master, and is their maker and a master.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can read one more paragraph. That's okay.
At the bottom? Okay. All of the beautiful truths pertaining to this soul, which have been restored and brought to the light in this age. None of this more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence that is, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny.
Right. So again, this sense of empowerment, this is what it is talking about. Robin Sharma, he's a leadership guru. He has written many books, many best-selling books like Leader Without the Title, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He has written the 5 a.m. Club recently. What he says is that we could either be a victim or a leader. It's quite an interesting point that he makes. The thought process, we could say that I am victimized by this circumstance, I am victimized by this person, or we could just take responsibility for the situation that we are in and become a leader. So this is a very important. So this particular, where this is said about here. So of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul which have been restored and brought to light in this age, none is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. So whatever environment we find ourselves in at this moment is created by us. Isn't that an amazing thought to have? And it's a reality. We choose our environment, Every moment we make a decision what environment we want to be in. Every moment. And it is through our thoughts. For example, again, I take the example of 4 of us being here, So we have chosen, we have actually taken, we made a decision that we are going to get together at this particular time, and we are going to inspire and motivate each other. We created this environment for us at this moment. And we can keep creating this environment at every moment, by our thoughts. When our thoughts are focused, the focus is extremely important, where the mind is getting focused. There are 2 things here. One is the awareness, and another is the consciousness and awareness. There are two things, right? So consciousness is something that is because of which we are alive, right? What is the thing that separates between a living body and a dead body? What is it that separates? Consciousness, isn't it? The, the body is always existing. When we die, the body is still there. And when I'm living now, when I'm talking, the body is there. But what is the difference between my dead body and my living body? Right? It is a consciousness, right? So I have the consciousness. That's why I'm able to talk. I'm able to breathe. My heart is beating. Everything is happening because I have the consciousness. So that is one thing. And the next thing is awareness. So these are the two very important things that we have: consciousness and awareness. So wherever the awareness goes, the consciousness, follows it. The consciousness follows the awareness. And that's why becoming aware of positivity is very important. Being grateful for whatever, even that I'm waking up every morning, uh, that's a very important thing to be grateful for, that I'm still alive. I'm breathing. Uh, that's a very basic thing to be grateful for. Any person who is alive can be grateful for being alive. And when we have those positive thoughts, gratitude, joy, the positive emotions, love, loving everyone, irrespective of what they are. A person could be um, from any part of the world, doing anything, with any frame of mind, but we love them because they are humanity. And what to speak of humans, animals, birds, plants, we love them. So when we have all those positive emotions, love, gratitude, joy, then we are in a state of positive energy, and we are vibrating in that frequency of positivity. And when we vibrate in a positive frequency, we attract positive things to us. And when we vibrate in a negative frequency of anger, jealousy, all this, these are all, being guilty, feeling of guilt, all this, these are negative. So when we put our awareness on the negative thoughts, then we go into a negative frequency and we attract negative things to us. So this is what he says here, of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul. So the man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. Right. So okay, so we are nearly 1 hour down the line. Any thoughts on how you felt this session is, and what we can do to kind of have more people involved with us? Have a big community, where we are thinking positively and we are creating this positivity. We are spreading this positivity everywhere. What are your thoughts? Please unmute.
I think it's good. We are together here because we have to analyze the philosophy of life. It is true that we are what we think we are, and we have to keep track of our thoughts. Our soul is still here, and that is what we leave this world. Our soul will remain. Something that I read is that the soul, if it is not in peace, it is not going to the other dimension that they say exists. So we have to die in peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Ruben. Yeah. Any other thoughts, Pavel and Ignacio?
thoughts about, let's say you speak about positive and negative emotions. I think this is a wrong connotation to give towards emotions, because to me, this is a judgment to judge a feeling or emotion as negative. I would say that whatever the feeling is, whether it's unpleasant or pleasant, it is information. And based on that information, you can extract things and change your direction, let's say. So it's not negative. We can say it's unpleasant instead. And even some of the negative emotions, let's say as anger, may serve you positively. If someone attacked you at your family at night, your anger will help you to protect your family, let's say. A lot of depressive thoughts may lead to beautifully written poems. So different emotions can play different roles, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're negative. Just a food for thought.
Very good. It's a very insightful one, Pavel. I agree with what you said. I think it's you put it exactly the right way. The negative emotions can also be used positively. As you said, like if someone is attacking us, automatically the anger is there, and we are defending, and that is helping us. Absolutely. So yes, I think the negative. It's the way we are using that, rather than it by itself being negative or positive. How we are channelizing it, because we cannot avoid the any as you said, pleasant or unpleasant instead of positive or negative, and that's a very insightful point as well. So we cannot avoid unpleasant things coming to us. They will come, just like the pleasant things come to us. Unpleasant things will also come to us. It's what our attitude is towards them that really determines what direction we go. So attitude is a very important. So what I talked about, awareness, and along with awareness, the attitude is a very important part as well. So first of all, becoming aware that sometimes sometimes the problem is that unfortunately people are not even aware. There are, we have blind spots. We have blind spots regarding our own behaviors, our own thought processes and things like that. So first thing is becoming aware that all these pleasant and unpleasant thoughts and emotions come to us. And the second is, what is the attitude we are having towards them? Are we getting, when an unpleasant thought is coming, are we getting succumbed to that unpleasant thought and emotion, or are we actually channelizing it in such a way that it will help us to empower ourselves? The example they give is like, for example, if someone is trying, best example is a child learning to walk. They keep falling down, but they immediately get up and keep trying until they actually start to walk. We all have gone through that phase, when we have learned to walk. So when we are actually falling down, what is the thought process in the child? They are not getting succumbed to the unpleasant situation of falling down. They immediately get up and start trying again. So I think that is the kind of it's very good. I see that Pavel has no, Ignacio has left. So okay. So if you guys are okay, we can close this. Thank you so much for joining, and hope we can continue this and have more people coming. If you have someone who would be interested, in this,
Sure.
let's have them come to this. And,
right.
I guess it'll be really
We have to persuade the people not to be this way. When we talk about ourselves, our souls, our spirit, to know ourselves very well, it's very important. Because if we don't know ourselves, we cannot know others.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
See
Hope we
you.
can continue this weekly.
Good meeting you, Pavel, huh?
Same as nice to meet you. And also, if you don't know yourself, you wouldn't know what you want. So.
Oh.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.